Okay, we restart our discussion on K to 12, and we are discussing about language development, and we said it starts with the language is about or sound. Sound means speaking, but it starts with listening. But eventually, we want to take our journey with the child towards reading and writing, and reading is foundation of learning and education. That we must know, that reading is foundation of education, particularly. Today I have Jones with me. He is an educated, well-schooled parent. But let's ask him, as simple as this, okay, when we teach child and do ourselves, what is reading and what is writing, his understanding. There's just one statistic sample with us, our understanding on reading and writing. So Jones, what comes in your mind when the word reading comes?
Yeah. Reading is nothing but whatever in the form of alphabets or the known language I can read.
Okay.
For me, it is called I can read and understand. That is
okay,
reading.
okay. Reading about alphabets and reading about understand. Interesting. See, Jones is not an average of the parent. Jones is well above. He is leading a team and he thinks a lot. So, what comes in your mind when we say you come across the word write or writing?
Yeah. Write is, for me, writing is something whatever we can write in the form of alphabets or pictures, but more about it should be understandable by the others.
But what is write? What is writing?
Writing is nothing but any alphabets or pictures we can write, but it should be understandable when they start reading by others.
Writing is what we write, but what is write?
Write again alphabets or in our own language.
Making alphabets.
Yes.
Okay. So
making sentences in readable format.
Making sentences.
Yes.
Readable. So that's good. That's interesting. So as we said, sometimes we tend to ignore the marvel and the miracles in the things. We have to see the miracle in reading and writing. Last time, we discussed how we listen, and there were miracles in the listening, that sounds touch our ears and the cochlea, which looks like a spiral. And I listen to a knock, and I listen to a thunder. A knock is, if it is 10, the thunder is 1 million. Now, this cochlea turns this into a logarithmic scale of 1 to 6 and sends a sort of linear signal to how miraculous this process is. And speaking, we discussed, is even more miraculous. Only in P and B, there is a difference in our mechanics of 30,000th of a second in opening of our lips. Now we are coming to writing. I will read something if there is something already written somewhere, right? So let's talk about write or writing, and then we will discuss what is reading, the miracle inside. The miracle inside is that write is, you see, let's, as the Jones put it, there is some picture, there is something. Let's say I'm an author, and I'm looking in front of me a very beautiful scenery. There are, let's say, mountains, and beyond the mountain there is a lake, and there are clouds over it, and birds flying, and a brook or river is here, and then there is a small jungle on this side, and a hamlet over here, and somebody lives, and it's a beautiful, he wants to describe it. Now imagine, as an author, as a writer, this is a 3D thing. That's another miracle, that how photons create a 3D in my eye. This is another miracle. Everything is a miracle. You stop over and pause, and you will understand it's totally miraculous. Now, this 3D thing, I have to describe in curves, alphabets, which we have discovered, and I start making something. But whatever I start making, those things are kind of in lines. Now this is a 3D thing, and I have to convert this 3D thing into a 1D thing. Lines are 1D. In any case, this is how my page where I have to convert my ideas that I'm looking at, this kind of a beautiful scenery will be converted. Now, that's very interesting part of it. One part is that I start talking and it will sound. The same sounds even when what sort of, what order should I tell about the birds first, or the mountains first, or the river first, or the hamlet first, or what first? So there can be innumerable possibilities how I describe it. So that differentiates a big author, a big thinker who describes it so well, and let's say a poor author or a new writer who cannot describe the same thing in that form. And the alphabets humans have discovered is another giant leap that I want to talk to the future generations. With my sounds, now we have recording devices. I could only talk to the person in front of me because I couldn't record it on the stones. Now we can record it on the stones. But then we couldn't record it on the stones. We could only write these hieroglyphs and symbols on the stones. So with this writing, human being took a giant mental leap to talk to the future generation where they can't read. Probably we had an inner urge to overlive our tenures. Now imagine that's the difference of what innovation space a writer has. And now look at the reader. Now that description has come to me and I want to read it, and what comes in front of me is small pieces of tree, about river, about the sunshine, and I have to reconstruct that image in my mind, and I have a lexicon and emotions and experience in which it will sort of interact and try to get a meaning out of it. So that's a miracle in itself. Okay, how will that single lines and curves in my mind will be creating the similar kind of images and distances and shades and the beauty which author wants to describe. This, we should understand that this is what needs to happen. And I am doing it to create a meaning out of it. The real core word of today's message is meaning. Richard Feynman put it very interestingly. Knowing a bird and knowing the meaning of a bird are totally two different things. I might be calling bird in 10 different languages. I might be calling it, how do you call it, Jones, in your language?
In Tamil, we can call it as paravai.
Okay, paravai, I can call it panchi, I can call it bird, I can call it osio, I can call it anything. But do I really understand what's a bird? I can call it in 3,000 languages, but I don't know what a bird is. So, the purpose is that we do not want to convey the words. We want to convey our child the meaning and how to derive meaning and how to convey meaning. This is the message of today. Otherwise, we lose direction and we stuck up in the jargon again, which we normally kind of tend to do. And this is our weakness, that we forget the end and get stuck up with the means. Very often we have to pause and reflect. We want to create an author in our journey in, let's say, the first year from KG to 1, if we are here now. At the end, what do we want to do? What is the end at this point in time? An author of, let's say, version 1.01. Whether that author just makes a 2-pager book with just few lines in it, but he's an author 1.01. And we are trying to create a reader 1.01. For ourselves as a teacher, we now have ourselves to be a sort of linguist, not 1.01, something like, say, 3.01, if Noam Chomsky or Steve Pinker has 10.01 or 100.01, but should be at least somewhere here, trying to double-click everything. even double click where the word meaning has come from. I know what is a mean. There are a lot of mean organisms around us, but do they have something in common? Where did it come from? Where did the word read come from? What is the meaning of the writing? By chance, the meaning of write is to draw, and meaning of read is it comes from the mind and making sense. We talked number sense yesterday. What is the meaning of the numbers, not what the 1, 2 numbers, how they look like. So that's today's message, and we'll continue how we jump to, but our jump will be different. Our jump will be not this way. Our jump will be from this speaking to reading and writing, because we have to develop some motor skills and some thinking skills, because this is about organizing my thoughts. This is about just understanding and making meanings out of it. Thank you very much.